Hello, I'm Ollie. Welcome to Oxford Online English. Today's topic, question tags. You know what question tags are, don't you? You can understand this sentence, can't you? This lesson is about question tags, which are one way to make a question in English. We're going to see how and when and why you should use question tags. Question 1. What's a question tag? It's when you make a question by adding words to the end of a sentence. You know a lot of people here. That's a sentence. Do you know a lot of people here? That's a normal question. You know a lot of people here, don't you? That's a question made with a question tag. So, how do you make a question tag? Question tags use different verbs depending on the verb you use in the sentence. He isn't going to tell her, is he? They won't be late, will they? She can swim, can't she? Your house has a garden, doesn't it? Ooh, why do we say doesn't it and not hasn't it? It's because we don't use the main verb, we use the auxiliary verb. That's the verb you use to make negatives or questions. So your house has a garden. If you're not sure, think about the negative of this sentence. Your house has a garden. Your house doesn't have a garden. So the question tag will be with doesn't. You can also see the questions are positive, the tags are negative. Usually the question and the tag are opposite. So if one is positive, the other is negative. She isn't coming, is she? So she isn't negative, is she positive? Your brother doesn't know about it, does he? Doesn't negative, does positive. The sentence and the tag are opposite. So now, why use question tags? What's the point? Why are they there? We usually use a question tag when we expect one answer. So if you think you already know the answer to a question, you think you know, you just want to check if you're right, you might use a question tag. For example, do you know where he is? That's an open question. It suggests that I don't know if you know or not. I don't know if you will say yes or no. You know where he is, don't you? That suggests I think you know where he is. I think you're going to say yes. You don't know where he is, do you? In this case, I'm expecting you to say no. Last point, very important, is about pronunciation in question tags. You can make two different types of questions. Let's listen. She isn't here, is she? She isn't here, is she? Can you hear the difference? They're completely different. The first question has a falling intonation. She isn't here, is she? The second question has a rising intonation. She isn't here, is she? These two questions have different meanings. With a rising intonation, is she? Means you aren't completely sure. The question is more open. If your voice goes down, she isn't here, is she? That means you're sure. You aren't really asking a question because you think you know the answer.
Anything else you should keep in mind? Yes, there are a couple of, I would say, exceptions that we have to talk about separately. Have a look at this one, for example. I'm attractive, aren't I? that doesn't really make sense because I am and then you have the aren't in the question tag. But there is no negative form for am. There is no am'd or something like this. It doesn't exist. So this is why we're taking the aren't. If you have I am, use aren't in the question tag. I'm attractive, aren't I? Let's go to the cinema, shall we? Let's becomes shall in the question tag. Let's go to the cinema, shall we? Please remember this. There aren't any monsters in my closet, are there? Now in this case, the aren't and are, this is like the rule that we have. It's present tense and the negative aren't becomes an are, which is positive. When there's a there in your sentence, you just have to remember to pull it in your question tag also. There aren't any monsters in my closet, are there? And don't stop kissing me, will you? If you have an order, an imperative, be it positive or negative, we use will or sometimes won't in the question tag. Don't stop kissing me, will you? Stop kissing me, will you also works. Okay, so please remember those four. I'm attractive, aren't I? Let's go to the cinema, shall we? There aren't any monsters in my closet, are there? Don't stop kissing me, will you? Okay,